Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dailey Blend Show. My name is Reed Dailey. This is the Friday Top 5. This is the segment of the show where I feature 5 things that I thought were interesting, notable, or culturally significant. This week we are showcasing The Random Show and the latest episode from Tim Ferris and Kevin Rose. How to get your wardrobe right for 2023 thanks to the good folks from Philadelphia-based Commonwealth Proper. Sticking with the CMMP team, or Commonwealth Proper team, we're highlighting their all-new American Single Malt Whiskey, and then continuing that sort of fashion cocktail train, we're going to talk about LA-based content creator John Baptist, not the religious person, but the actual content creator, and then rounding things out with none other than sneakers and a caption from Seth Fowler, who is arguably my favorite YouTuber when it comes to sneakers. All right, before we jump into the show, I want to remind you that it is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and now YouTube. That's right, YouTube finally, after years, put the ability to have named URLs or named channels. So it is youtube.com/@Dailey Blend. All right, with all that said, let's jump into the show. So the Random Show is one of my favorite, I will call it show/segments between two great hosts. Kevin Rose, who's a serial entrepreneur who has started companies like Dig, I believe Aura Ring, has been the CEO of the globally famous Hodinkee, as in Hodinkee the watch company, has created Oak, which is a meditation app, has created Zero, which is a fasting app, and has also been a part of Google Ventures and now is a part of True Ventures. Tim Ferris is an author, podcaster, and now I will argue a content creator in the form of fiction, which he talks about in this particular episode. So over the last 10, 15 years, these two have gotten together on video, on audio, and put out The Random Show. And it's really just two guys who put together a bunch of show notes and sort of talk about what they're into. Both of them are what I will call life hackers. Tim a little more than Kevin, but Kevin goes deep when he does. And one of the big things they talked about was Tim's new project called Cock Punch, like as in, like a rooster. And it's this like fictional story with Web3 images. And I'm not totally up to speed on everything Cock Punch, but essentially there's some sort of story narrative. I started listening to the podcast while I was walking my dog Blue this morning, and it is pretty fantastic. If you listen to or watch the show Viking Quest, it's not the same person that sort of does the intro and has that great studio voice, but it's very similar. And I'm dying to dig into more of this. So go to Kevin Rose's Twitter or Instagram website. You can go to Tim Ferris on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and then he's got tim.blog, and you can stream The Random Show. I think it's also on YouTube. I just don't have that linked. Okay, so let's go from The Random Show, which was entertaining, enlightening, and downright dumb at points. And dumb meaning just dumb fun, not that they're dumb. Jumping into the Commonwealth Proper. So, most people wait till the spring to do spring cleaning, and I think it's just a combination of like getting the Christmas stuff away, getting kind of newer things, and kind of making way for those newer things and getting rid of older things. And the team over at Commonwealth Proper is one of those teams that I've talked about on this show a number of times. I actually recorded a podcast with one of their Atlanta showroom managers, and the audio got so chopped up and I was in a rush, and it just didn't come out sounding good, so we ended up scrapping the show, which was really disappointing because it was pretty interesting. I've gone back and listened to it. The audio's bad, but it was interesting. Anyway, they founded by Craig Arthur von Schroeder and I believe one other person, and they are based out of Philadelphia. They do all made in America. I believe, I've never been there, but I believe they're actually making some of the garments in the same sort of vicinity or on property, but I could be wrong. They've got other showrooms in Atlanta that I mentioned, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and LA. And I believe they've got some new made-to-measure stores popping up, but don't quote me there. Anyway, last year or maybe 2 years ago, they did a wardrobe edit series. It's videos. There are 4. And it's organize and reduce. It's shirts, pants, and blazers. Craig does a nice job of explaining it. I always think that their stuff is top-notch. I bought a custom shirt for my wedding. I've got their dash blazer in 2 colors. I've got the original cut in blue, and I've got a more updated cut in red. And as soon as they start making it in the tech fabric, I'm probably going to buy it as well. So go check them out. Go check out Craig's videos and get yourself looking right for back to work and back in front of people in 2023. All right. Third story is sticking with CMMP. And one of the things that I saw, but I didn't dig into until I was actually trying to go back and find these wardrobe edit videos, was they launched an American Single Malt Whiskey. They embarked on a mission to create a whiskey and offer it to the public. They partnered with a local Pennsylvania-based distiller to create a unique, distinctly American spirit. The result was Barrel Select, that's the name of their products, and it's aged 100% malted barley in a medium American white oak char. If you've never seen oak charred in person, it's just a very hypnotic, sort of soothing thing to watch. Obviously, the spirits that come out of it 6, 7, 12, 20 years later are fantastic. The first 90 proof batch contains hints of citrus, vanilla, and chocolate, and a smooth and rich finish. I love tasting notes on any product. Sometimes they're so subjective and people don't get it, and other times you're just like, oh yeah, I see it. But the way that they're described is always just fantastic to me. Each bottle is hand marked with its own unique barrel and bottle number. There are 300 available. The quote I got was, "Like our clothing, each bottle is unique and made for gentlemen rebels who dare to chart their own path and take risks into something unknown. An American Single Malt." Go to their website. They have a separate website and e-commerce for their whiskey. My guess is that's because there are rules and regulations, I'm assuming, for that. But I haven't tried it, and it looks tasty just from the bottle. All right, the fourth story is talking about Los Angeles-based content creator. We highlighted him on the weekly rundown, and I was just a big fan of John the Baptist. That's his Instagram name. He seems, I looked him up a little more, and he's got some features on GQ, and his videos are just like short and sweet, and it's not all the same stuff that I've seen from a bunch of other influencers. I highlighted this on the weekly rundown. He did a bunch of things about apartment management, one of the things being how to move a plant from a small pot to a bigger pot, which I'd never seen before. Anyway, I want to get into video. It's the next evolution of the Dailey Blend show, both in terms of this weekly and Friday Top 5, as well as interviews. I just don't have the video. I have the audio. I have the tripod. I do not have the video or lighting kit, or at least I don't think I do. And so that's what's next. I'm leaning towards Sony. John uses an A6600. I'm thinking about maybe getting one step above that if I can find a solid open box item at Best Buy. So Best Buy Vernon Hills, I'm going to be seeing you tomorrow. And hopefully I will get into more video this year. Over the last, couple weeks, I've been mostly featuring sneakers as the last story of the Friday Top 5, and I'm probably going to continue that theme. I think based on the fact I just created a dedicated Instagram account to sneakers called Coffee, Kicks, and Cocktails. Go follow us. I'm loving sneaker design more and more. Buying less, funny enough. And I can't tell if that's just because I've got a ton in the backlog, or if I want to learn how to like do the unboxing and videotape that and just want to be better about that, or I'm just like, I enjoy reading about it, but maybe not buying it. I don't know. I have to unpack that a little more. It doesn't help that my brother-in-law bought me like the thickest book from Freaker Sneakers or Sneaker Freakers. I can't remember, and I haven't jumped into it yet, but it looks fantastic. So shout out Russell for buying me that book, and Libby. It looks really cool. So Seth Fowler is an industrial design and sneaker enthusiast. He has a channel that is about unboxing sneakers and reviewing them, and he also does some designing. I remember catching him, I think, when he had like 200,000 followers, and now he just hit over 1 million. So hats off to Seth. He has a second channel called I Just Unbox Stuff, and I don't have that name exactly right. Not as interesting. And then hats off to him for setting up a sock company called Apothecary, Apothecary. I can't remember the exact name, but they're doing really well. They do bi-weekly drops and make really cool products. Anyway, Seth put out his top sneakers of 2022. Most of them I'd agree with, and then he put out predictions for what's going to be the best or most anticipated ones for 2023. If you go to daileyblend.com, I've linked to both the 2022 and 2023 videos, so go check those out. So that wraps up this week's episode of the Friday Top 5. As always, like, follow, and subscribe to the show. Subscribe, as my buddy Greg would say. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe me at Reed Dailey. That's ReedDailey. And if you love sneaker content, pictures of incredible coffee shops and cocktail bars, and learning about my favorite recipes of cocktails, go to Instagram and check out Coffee, Kicks, and Cocktails, all one word. It might be your favorite follow of the month, even the year. With that said, enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch you next week on the Weekly Rundown. Thanks for tuning in.